Okay, so before we actually start putting into practice some of these stress management techniques, I think it's important that we take a look at what I call is our lesson on what's in it for me. So, how can these stress management techniques actually add a higher quality of life to your life? So, let's take a look. I've put together a little chart here, and included in this chart are just some of the major benefits that these stress management techniques have. So we have drawing, laughing, tapping, music, and on my lower chart, we have breathing. So we're going to cover all of these areas in the next several classes. But in regards to drawing, I'd be willing to bet that some of you are doodlers and drawers. So you already know some of the benefits of that. Your body naturally wants to do some of these things. But whenever you take the time to actually sit down and draw, whether you're an artist or not, and whether it's on paper or whether it's digital, the benefits can still be the same. So drawing helps to create focus. So when you find you have a desire to doodle and draw, it could be because there's just so many distractions floating around in your head, and there's just a lot of clutter in there. So taking the time to draw allows your brain to just focus on one task and kind of put the other things to the side. Drawing can be extremely relaxing, especially if you're trying to do it in the correct environment, away from other background noises and distractions. Very relaxing. Drawing is also a form of expression. Think for a moment about some of the most famous works of art, whether they be paintings, drawing, or statues. And think of the feelings and thoughts that are being expressed in them. Well, for example, many of you have probably heard of Vincent van Gogh. Vincent van Gogh, one of his famous paintings is called The Scream. And it's the painting where you have the droopy faced person with their hands up like this and his mouth is all agape. And he's clearly expressing some tremendous stress in his life. And Vincent van Gogh had a lot of that for sure. Van Gogh also had another famous painting called Starry Night, which is beautiful with all of its swirls and stars and the deep blue sky. So it's sharing another expression of feeling there. Drawing is also a form of meditation. It can lower your blood pressure. It can relax the muscles, relieving stress throughout the body. So meditation can come in many forms. It doesn't always involve a yoga pose with your fingers together and your eyes closed, which is wonderful and helpful in certain circumstances. But drawing provides you with a different outlet for that. Now, we actually have two brains in our head. We have a left brain and a right brain. The left brain is very scientific, mathematical, analytical, likes to figure out problems, things like that. The right brain is the artistic, musical, creative side. And some of us spend more time in one brain than we do the other. For me personally, I'm a heavy right brain person. Doesn't mean that I can't figure out math and scientific equations. It's just that my brain prefers to stay in that creative mode, which can be good and bad sometimes. Drawing can reduce anxiety, and many of the other forms of stress management we're going to talk about can do the same. And that's very important, especially in times like we're living in right now. Anxiety can be very immobilizing in a person's life. It can just cause you to really lose the quality of your life if it kind of creeps in and takes over. So drawing, very good strategy to offset that. And drawing is a wonderful way to communicate your feelings. All right, so let's take a moment and look at laughter. What's in it for me with laughter? Well, who doesn't like to laugh? Think about some of your fondest memories in your lifetime that are linked to times when you laughed really hard, maybe with your best friends or family members, and maybe you were blowing soda out your nose and just laughing so hard that you couldn't breathe. And note how relaxed you feel after that. It's because you ended up tightening many of the muscles of your body and then letting them just relax. So here are some of the benefits that laughter has, scientifically proven. Laughter can burn the stress hormones off that build up when stress accumulates in your life. And the main stress hormones we're talking about here are adrenaline and cortisol, which can lead to some damaging health effects if you live a life of prolonged stress for long periods of time without relief. So laughter, as I mentioned a moment ago, releases muscle tension, strengthens your immune system. That's a valuable one for what we're dealing with right now in the COVID era. Creates good memories. Laughter makes your brain feel good. You actually release chemicals in your brain in the pleasure center called endorphins and dopamine, and your brain likes to experience them. So it says, oh, what made us experience that? It was this moment of laughter. Let's remember that so we can re-release these wonderful chemicals again down the road. Laughter improves your mood, increases blood flow, reduces your blood pressure in your body. And, as we're always talking about the whole person pie, and you can see it right behind me right now on the bulletin board, physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual. Well, laughter can really help you socially because people like to be around happy people. Then we have a stress management technique known as tapping, also called emotional freedom technique. And we are going to have one specific lesson regarding tapping a little bit later on. But your first thought might be, I tap on the desk when I'm sitting there. I tap my feet all the time. And that is related, but that's not really what we're talking about. Tapping is locating very strategic places in the body, mostly in the facial area, the scalp area, and around the shoulders, where nerve endings come close to the surface. These locations are called meridians. Again, we'll talk about this more down the road. But it's tapping on those locations in a circular pattern that helps to get positive energy flow going in the body. You see, your nervous system runs on chemicals and electricity. And sometimes negative feelings and thoughts and pain and stuff like that can just get stuck in a certain area of your body, and they just kind of pulse and throb there. And you can physically feel stress in those places in your body. Well, tapping is just a wonderful way of body awareness and releasing those things. So tapping opens your nerve channels, allowing the normal energy of your body to flow through, creates body awareness. You become more aware of your body and how it feels, your breathing, your heartbeat, and things like that. Tapping is an awesome tool for reducing anxiety. It's a wonderful thing to do if you feel an anxiety attack coming on. Again, we'll talk more about that. I personally have used tapping in times when I've been in a lot of physical pain for various reasons. I found it helps me to manage certain painful experiences without taking powerful medications. Tapping also, like drawing, is a form of meditation. Activates the right and left brain. Actually, when you set up for tapping, that's part of the process. You activate both hemispheres of the brain. And tapping can also help you to sleep. If you have trouble going to sleep at night, then laying in bed and tapping, no other special equipment needed, just your fingertips and knowing where those meridian points are, you may find it very valuable for that. And then music. Personally, I have a great love for music, and I can't imagine a day in my life without either hearing music or playing music. So music, again, like drawing, some of these overlap and they're very similar, creates focus in your current situation. If any of you play a musical instrument, you know what I'm talking about. If you ever are playing a song or a certain sequence of chords, you can get lost very easily and the rest of the world just kind of disappears. Music is famous for releasing those endorphins and dopamine in the brain that we talked about earlier. So the pleasure center of the brain likes music. Some people even think that our bodies might actually be like a musical instrument itself, and that's why music is so appealing to us. Music also a great form of expression. If you take the time to listen to the lyrics of a song and certain beats and melodies are really appealing to your brain, you're allowed to express your feelings through music and dance and stuff like that. Music has been studied by health professionals in regards to fitness has been proven to improve people's levels of fitness. If you train with music, they found that athletes can actually sustain a higher level of a higher level of exercise if they're listening to music because they get caught up in the rhythm of the music. Music early in life and even before a baby is born can stimulate brain development. That's interesting research. More and more is being done on that. Stimulates the right and left brain, like some of the others that we've talked about. And if you play a musical instrument, then perhaps you're going to actually, at least to a slight level, develop muscular coordination and stamina. Think about a drummer. Think about wind instruments and the lung capacity and being able to breathe properly. Interesting connections there. Then as I scroll down, the last area we're going to look at is stress management through breathing. Whenever any of us are under stress, whether it's low level or high level, one of the very first instincts of your body is to take a deep breath. Your brain knows the benefits that can occur from that. One simple deep breath can immediately start to lower your blood pressure, reduce your heart rate. So breathing really is helpful for body awareness. It's very settling to your body. It's mindfulness as well, because you're focusing on this one task. Things that we take for granted, like our heartbeat and our breathing, you now become very focused on. Lowers your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure. It's a form of mindfulness, as I just mentioned. And proper breathing will increase the blood flow to your brain, and that's always good. So there you have it. These benefits listed in these charts are all excellent reasons for being motivated to really give these things a try. Now, I don't expect that you're all going to love every activity that I share with you in the classroom, but maybe there'll be one or two things that you say, yeah, I kind of like that. I'll use that as a strategy in my life. Okay, so now you know what's in it for you. Now we'll get busy and actually practice these things. Thanks for listening.